You're listening to a production of the National Media Archive. To learn more or volunteer, go to nationalmediaarchive.com.
Have you noticed that everyday word superhero, realtor, even the word face are suddenly off limits? There's a frantic race underway to trademark anything and everything, and the real cost isn't just legal fees. It's your access to language, to culture, to business opportunities. Let me set the stage. In the past decade, the number of U.S. trademark applications has nearly tripled, according to the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. Why? Because in today's hyper-competitive market, trademarks are becoming the ultimate business weapon. Now, you might be thinking, but aren't trademarks just for logos or company names? Not anymore. Corporations have realized that if they can lock down words, sounds, even gestures, they can box out competitors before the game even starts. Imagine waking up tomorrow and not being able to use the word superhero in your comic or face in your app. Sounds extreme? It's already happening. So, why this sudden frenzy? Today, we'll break down the causes, the strategies, and the consequences of this trademark land grab and why you should care, even if you're not a business owner. Let's clear up some confusion. Trademarks, patents, copyrights, they're all tools to protect intellectual property, but they work differently. A patent? That's your shield for inventions, like a new battery technology. It lasts 20 years, but you've got to file with the government and wait for approval, sometimes years. Copyrights, on the other hand, are automatic. Write a song, paint a picture, film a video. You own the copyright for 70 years after your death. No forms needed. But proving your ownership in court can be tricky. Now, trademarks. Think of these as the intersection of patents and copyright. They protect branding, elements logos, slogans, even a color or sound so long as it's tied to your business identity. Here's where it gets wild. Trademarks can last forever, as long as you keep renewing them every 10 years. That's a perpetual moat around your brand. So, with such powerful, flexible protection, it's no wonder businesses are sprinting to trademark everything in sight. But what happens when the system gets abused? What do superhero, realtor, and BAM have in common? They're words you probably use without a second thought. But in courtrooms, these are the legal property of corporations. That's right, Marvel and DC jointly own superhero, and you can't use it in your comic book without risking a lawsuit. Now, hypothetically, you're starting a tech company and want to call your app FaceMe. Sounds harmless, right? Well, Facebook holds a trademark on Face for digital services, so you could get a cease and desist before you even launch. This isn't just theoretical. Kylie Jenner tried to trademark her first name, but was blocked by Kylie Minogue. Paris Hilton successfully trademarked "That's hot." Even Usain Bolt trademarked his signature victory pose. Rhetorical question: when does protecting your brand cross the line into stifling competition and creativity? As companies scoop up ordinary language, they hold the keys to culture, and anyone else has to pay the toll or risk legal war. Let me tell you a story from my days in investment banking. I've seen companies buy out entire businesses not for their revenue or products, but solely for their trademarks. That's right, the brand name alone can be more valuable than the business itself. Why? Because a strong trademark gives you not just legal protection, but leverage. Imagine if your rival couldn't use the word edge or smart without risking a lawsuit. Suddenly, you're not just competing, you're controlling the field. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office reports that in some sectors, intellectual property now makes up more than 80% of a company's market value. That's intangible assets like trademarks outstripping factories or inventory by a mile. Now, you might ask, isn't this anti-competitive? Absolutely. But as long as it's legal, it's a winning game plan. So, if you see a business with a weak product but a killer brand, don't be fooled. The real gold might be hiding in the trademark vault. Here's a darker side, the patent troll. Ever heard of Intellectual Ventures? Founded by a former Microsoft CTO, this firm buys up patents and trademarks not to innovate, but to sue. Their business model is simple. Sit on a mountain of legal rights, then threaten lawsuits against anyone who might infringe. It's called legal extortion, and it's big business. Intellectual Ventures alone has filed thousands of lawsuits, generating billions in settlements. Their secret weapon? Filing as many patents and trademarks as possible, often on broad, vague ideas. Now, you might wonder, why don't companies fight back? Many do, but most settle to avoid expensive, drawn-out court battles. The troll wins either way. Technical term: non-practicing entity firms that own rights but produce nothing. And here's the analogy. They're like landlords charging rent on ideas, not buildings. This is the second reason for the trademark arms race. Trademark or be trademarked. And in this game, the smallest player often loses. Let's talk about the nuclear standoff in tech. Apple once held a patent for an electronic device shaped like a rectangle with rounded corners. Sound familiar? It's basically every smartphone. But why didn't Apple sue every competitor into oblivion? Because companies like Google, Samsung, and Microsoft have their own arsenals, millions of patents and trademarks ready to countersue at the drop of a hat. This is called mutually assured destruction, a term borrowed from Cold War strategy. If one company launches a legal attack, the other retaliates, and both risk losing big. It's a legal deadlock. Nobody wins, but everyone plays the game. And while the giants duke it out, smaller innovators are often collateral damage, unable to navigate this minefield of legal threats and countersuits. No market is fueling the trademark boom like artificial intelligence. According to Bloomberg Intelligence, the AI sector could hit $1 trillion in value within a decade. That's a gold rush, and everyone wants to stake their claim. Why does AI make this worse? Because AI speeds up both creation and detection. Companies are patenting algorithms, processes, even datasets at breakneck speed. The technical term here is generative AI, and it's both a tool and a threat. Hypothetically, you're a startup building a new AI tool. If you don't lock down your trademarks, a rival could copy your branding overnight, and AI-powered search bots can spot copycats in seconds. AI also enables enforcement on a massive scale. With image recognition and natural language processing, companies can detect infringement 24/7 worldwide. So, in the AI age, trademark protection isn't just smart, it's survival. Let's dive into the world of knockoffs. Sites like Alibaba, Temu, and Etsy are flooded with lookalike products. For years, it was a game of whack-a-mole. Companies couldn't keep up with infringers posting slightly altered versions faster than humans could catch them. Enter AI enforcement. Now, machine learning models can scan millions of listings, flagging potential infringements in real time. The technical terms here: image recognition and copyright detection algorithms. Imagine posting a new sneaker design only to have it flagged and removed within hours. That's automated policing at a scale never before possible. But here's the twist. You need an official trademark registration to trigger these takedowns. No registration, no protection. For small businesses, this raises the stakes: its trademark up or get wiped out by bots. Here's a mindbender. AI models like GPT-4 are trained on terabytes of online data, much of it trademarked or copyrighted. The law hasn't caught up yet, but this is a ticking time bomb. A Harvard Business Review study found that one of the top uses of image-generating AI is to make new logos. But every logo generated is a blend of existing, protected designs. Is that inspiration or infringement? Now, you might be thinking, but graphic designers are inspired by past work too. True, but AI does it at scale and speed humans can't match. And unlike a human, AI can't always explain its process. The technical terms here: training data and generative output. If companies can lock down their trademarks now, they can block AI-generated competitors before they ever launch. This is the legal gray zone where the next decade's IP battles will be fought. So where does branding end and creativity begin? The line is blurrier than ever. Mickey Mouse's Steamboat Willie just entered the public domain, but the Mickey Mouse ears still trademarked. That's the difference between creative work and branding element. If you're a comedian, you already know the pain jokes are borrowed, reworked, sometimes stolen. The same debate is raging in the corporate world over logos, colors, even catchphrases. Let me ask, when does defending your brand become a straitjacket for culture? Can a single company own the word superhero forever? Legally, yes. Ethically, that's for you to decide. The technical terms at play: public domain versus trademark protection. And the consequences aren't just theoretical, they shape what you see, hear, and even buy. In the end, the desperate race to trademark everything is about more than legal fees. It's a battle for the building blocks of our shared language and imagination. So, what does all this mean for you? If you're a business owner, trademarking your branding isn't optional anymore, it's self-defense. But even as a consumer, you're paying the price higher costs, fewer choices, and a narrowing of cultural space. Rhetorical question. Have you ever tried to use a favorite word or phrase only to find it's already a registered trademark? It's happening more and more. Hypothetical dialogue. Why can't I call my comic book characters superheroes? Because DC and Marvel own that word. Can I use face in my app? Not if Facebook has anything to say about it. The technical terms. Trademark infringement and fair use. If you cross the line, even by accident, you could face takedowns, lawsuits, or worse. So, in this new world, awareness is your best defense. Whether you're a creator, a business owner, or just an ordinary consumer, the trademark race is shaping your world one word at a time.